Have you ever been so perfectly deceived that you didn't see the trap until it was almost too late? Marina thought she'd found love and her dream home at the same time, but both were carefully constructed lies. It all started 6 months ago when she met Derek at a coffee shop, and their connection felt like destiny. Derek was everything Marina had been looking for: attentive, successful, interested in building a future together. When she mentioned wanting to leave her cramped apartment and buy a small house, he lit up with enthusiasm. He said his friend Vanessa was the best real estate agent in town and would give Marina special treatment. Vanessa was polished and professional, showing Marina a charming cottage on the outskirts of town that seemed absolutely perfect. The price was slightly above market value, but Vanessa assured her it was worth every penny. Derek encouraged her too, saying he could see them spending Sunday mornings there together. Marina fell in love with the cottage instantly. The garden, the fireplace, the window seat perfect for reading. Vanessa guided her through the entire process, always available, always helpful. Derek was supportive every step of the way, talking about which room could be his home office. The inspection revealed some minor issues, but Vanessa said they were normal for a house this age. Marina trusted her completely. After all, she was Derek's friend, and Derek clearly had Marina's best interests at heart. The closing date was set for 3 weeks away. Then came the first red flag Marina almost missed. She stopped by Derek's apartment unannounced with takeout to surprise him. Through the window she saw him on the phone, and his expression wasn't the warm one she knew. It was cold, calculating. Marina couldn't hear what he was saying, but something in her gut twisted. She texted instead of knocking, and when he opened the door minutes later, his smile was back in place. That night, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Marina started paying closer attention. She noticed Derek never wanted her visiting his place without warning. Vanessa always steered her away from getting a second opinion on anything. The seller was oddly absent from every interaction, always communicating through Vanessa. 1 week before closing, Marina did something she'd never done before. She hired a private investigator. She felt guilty, but that glimpse through the window haunted her. She needed to know if she was being paranoid or if her instincts were trying to save her. The investigator called her 3 days later and asked her to come to his office immediately. What he showed her made Marina's blood run cold. Derek and Vanessa weren't just friends, they were married. But it got worse. The cottage Marina was about to buy, Derek and Vanessa owned it. They'd purchased it 6 months ago as an investment property for exactly this scam. The seller Vanessa kept mentioning was completely fictitious. They'd inflated the price by $30,000. The inspection company was in on it, downplaying serious foundation issues. Marina wasn't Derek's girlfriend. She was his mark. Every coffee date, every sweet text, every future he'd painted had been a carefully scripted lie. Marina spent that night crying, then got angry, then got very, very calm. She could walk away, report them, let the authorities handle it, but she had a better idea, one that would cost them far more than they'd tried to steal from her. First, she continued as if nothing had changed. She smiled at Derek, thanked Vanessa for all her help, and confirmed she was excited for closing day. They had no idea she knew everything. Meanwhile, Marina contacted a real estate attorney and explained the entire situation with all the evidence. She also reached out to 7 other young women who'd bought houses through Vanessa in the past year. What she discovered made her realize Derek and Vanessa had done this before. 4 of those women had similar stories. Charming new boyfriend, friend in real estate, dream house slightly overpriced. The relationships all ended within weeks of closing. Marina wasn't their first victim. She was just next in line. Here's what Marina did next that made all the difference. She went through with the closing, signing all the papers while Derek squeezed her hand supportively and Vanessa beamed professionally. They thought they'd won. But Marina had included a clause in the final paperwork that her attorney had carefully crafted. It stated that if any material misrepresentation was discovered within 90 days, the sale would be void and the sellers would owe triple damages. Vanessa had signed it without reading carefully. Marina moved into the cottage and played her part perfectly. Derek started becoming distant, just like he had with the others. She pretended to be sad, clingy, making it easy for him to ghost her. 2 weeks after closing, he stopped responding to her texts entirely. On day 30, Marina filed a lawsuit against both Derek and Vanessa with all the evidence: the fraudulent inspection, the price inflation, the pattern of scams, everything. She also filed complaints with the real estate board and contacted a journalist friend who covered consumer fraud. The story broke wide. Local news picked it up, then regional outlets. Charming couple runs romance real estate scam on single women. The other victims came forward, and suddenly Derek and Vanessa were facing multiple lawsuits and a criminal investigation. Vanessa lost her real estate license within a week. The investigation revealed she'd falsified documents on multiple properties. Derek lost his sales job when his employer saw the coverage. Turned out he'd been lying about his success there too. But Marina wasn't finished. She exercised that clause in the contract, voiding the sale and demanding triple damages for the fraudulent misrepresentations. Because they documented everything in writing to make the scam look legitimate, the evidence was ironclad. Derek and Vanessa had to sell the cottage to someone else at a loss because the foundation issues Marina's independent inspector found were expensive to repair. They also had to pay Marina $90,000 in damages, 3 times what they'd tried to overcharge her. The criminal charges took longer, but both Derek and Vanessa eventually pleaded guilty to fraud and conspiracy. They received probation, community service, and had to pay restitution to all their victims. Their scam days were over. Marina used the settlement money as a down payment on a different house, one she found with a reputable agent who had no connection to charming men in coffee shops. This one she bought with her eyes wide open. The best part? Marina started a blog documenting romance-based scams, helping others recognize red flags. She turned her betrayal into a resource that's protected dozens of people from similar schemes. Derek and Vanessa had picked the wrong mark. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone in the moment. It's about dismantling everything they built on lies, piece by careful piece. Marina could have walked away and let them continue scamming others. Instead, she made sure they'd never do it again. Derek sent her one email months later, calling her vindictive and saying she'd ruined their lives over a misunderstanding. Marina deleted it without responding. Some people never accept responsibility for their choices. They just resent getting caught. 2 years later, Marina is still in her house, still running her scam awareness blog, and recently started dating someone she met through friends who actually checked out. She learned that trust should be earned slowly, not given away to a charming smile. As for Vanessa and Derek, they divorced shortly after their convictions. Turns out a relationship built on scamming others doesn't have a strong foundation. Marina heard through the grapevine that they blamed each other for getting caught, for being too greedy, for choosing her as a target. Marina sometimes drives past that cottage and smiles, thinking about how close she came to losing everything to people who saw her as nothing but a payday. Instead, she became the person who ended their operation and helped their other victims find justice too. The lesson she shares most often on her blog is simple. When something feels too perfect, pause and investigate. Real love doesn't rush you into financial decisions. Real professionals encourage second opinions. And real people don't vanish the moment they get what they want. So what do you think? Was Marina's long game revenge justified, or should she have just reported them and moved on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've ever caught someone running a scam, share your story. You never know who you might help by speaking up.